Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya, and tonight we have made it back to Monday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody has had a great weekend. It is Monday again, the last week of April, guys. And guess what? It's going to be some great weather this week, and I can't wait. Anyway, I hope again everybody is doing good. We've got a big lineup for tonight. We're going to tackle about the student loans as far as Donald Trump rolling back some policies and putting some executive orders to reverse student loan forgiveness. That's right. And how this will affect Americans. Also, we're going to talk about how Americans feel about the economy. And we're also going to dive in a little bit deeper further on as far as what to expect for Thursday, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the video. So let's go ahead and get started for tonight. Again, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the student loan forgiveness. How this is going to affect Americans. Some people say Donald Trump is also going to issue garnishments with paychecks. They're thinking about, tackling the tax refunds. So if you're getting a refund, that could be a possibility that the Internal Revenue might be trying to get some of those refunds to pay back those student loans. So it's going to be a mess, guys. And this is the thing about it. A lot of people can't pay those bills right now. And, COVID did a lot of forbearance and deferments for those student loans. Now, we understand when you take out a loan, of course, you need to pay it back. However, the economy is so bad right now that a lot of people just can't afford to do it. They're even trying to eliminate the, I think it's the income-driven repayment plan, which makes it affordable for people to pay back the loan. So to me, it's almost like they're trying to just stick it to the American people. And I just don't think that's right. I'm sorry. I mean, because yes, we understand when you take a loan out, you got to pay it back. However, why make it hard for people to pay it back? That's my thing. Everybody doesn't have the same income. Everybody doesn't have the same expenses. So to me, you should try to, help people, that especially if they're trying to pay the loans back. But anyway, let's just get on with the first topic at hand. And let's just tackle this video. Once it's over, I'll let you know exactly how I feel about it after it's over.
Student loans after the Department of Education said that borrowers need to pay up if they're in default. That means that millions may soon see their wages garnished, and we're not talking about a sprig of parsley on this one. Millions who aren't in default could see their payments go up. It's a twofer. Nancy Chen has more.
Have you always wanted to be a teacher? Yes. I wanted to do something that was going to make an impact on people, on my community, on the world.
It's not about the paycheck. It would be nice if it was more, right? But that's the heart of public service, is doing it for others.
Corey Mason and Rachel Dubrell both teach at a public high school in Norwich, Connecticut. Their jobs requiring advanced degrees, they say, that force them to take out tens of thousands of dollars in federal student loans.
You cannot miss a payment. That then jeopardizes other things that you have to pay for.
Oh, you did it.
For more than a decade now, repaying those loans on time has meant hard choices.
That's how it should be spelled?
Every extra penny I feel like I had went towards this debt.
Those payments counted towards eventual debt relief under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. The deal worked for the public sector, and student loans would be canceled after 10 years or 120 payments. To make their payments more affordable, the teachers enrolled in a program known as SAVE, which based their loan payments on their incomes. But last summer, the program was blocked in court, leaving its roughly 8 million borrowers in jeopardy. Payments also no longer counted towards debt forgiveness.
And it was essentially frozen, like our progress was frozen at that point. We're literally living in this limbo of not knowing where the paperwork is. There's no phone number, no fax number, no email for them.
As they look to enroll in a new plan, more trouble. In February, the Department of Education took down online applications for all income-driven repayment plans for 5 weeks. While the applications are now back online, there are processing delays, and court documents show an outstanding backlog with no clear timeline to clearing it. In the meantime, borrowers like Duberell and Mason are left not knowing when their loans will be forgiven, both within just 5 payments of the required 120.
What does it mean to be that close and be in limbo right now? It's like heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working so hard towards like finally being able to say, okay, this debt is done.
And then now to literally be in the last inches of it and to have it just, the floor fall out from under us is very painful.
The Education Department said the applications were taken down to revise the forms, and it expects loan providers to resume processing by May 10th. But some advocates say the backlog could still take months or even years to clear.
This is chaos.
Mike Pierce heads a Student Borrower Protection Center, which has filed a lawsuit against the Education Department on behalf of the union Duberell and Mason belong to.
What happens to them now?
They're stuck in limbo. And these public service workers who are doing everything we've asked of them, serving in our communities, are stuck in debt even though they have a legal right to be debt-free.
These teachers hope for the loan forgiveness they've worked towards, but if it doesn't come,
it would be catastrophic because I don't know where it would come from. We have a little bit of like emergency savings, but beyond that, I don't know what we would do.
The turmoil happens against the backdrop of steep job cuts in the Education Department, nearly half its workforce. On top of that, the president plans to move the student loan program to a different agency altogether, a potentially seismic shift as financial futures hang in the balance. For CBS Mornings, Nancy Chen, New York.
All right, so you see how all this massive debt is getting ready to hit Americans unexpected. You know, at least with the Biden administration, and like I told you a few months ago, that's one of the things that I was very, very thankful for, that my loans were forgiven. And so now to see loans be put back, it's like they're not trying to help the American citizen at all. I'm sorry. I mean, with the tariffs in place and now you're rolling back all these student loans and it's unexpected. People, don't have enough money just for regular expenses. And so now you're, like I said, they don't care who it affects. I keep telling this, little by little, more and more keeps getting revealed more and more over and over, and it's a shame, because people have kids. Some people, their last dime go to groceries, or medicines or, things that they have to have, student loans. Like I said, we understand it's debt. We understand if you got the loan, you have to pay it back. But I feel like if the government put a freeze on everything during COVID, then they should gradually, if you want the people to pay it back, make it so that people can pay it back and don't just spring it on people, have it so that it's gradual. That's what I feel, or the people that's already in that income driven, let them continue. But they got rid of that too. And that's solely based on your income. The payment is based on how much you make a month or how much you gross. So like I said, they're just, like I say, taking a wrecking ball and just wiping out whatever they see, not caring who this affects. Because again, it doesn't affect them. Okay, so we're going to keep looking at this, but this is going to be, like I said, a mess. All right. And that's an understatement. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic at hand. Walmart. And like I said, we talked about Target last week about how the DEI, they're trying to come to the table and, talk with Al Sharpton about some things. Well, guess what? Walmart wants to play hardball now. They're trying to say, you know what? We don't care what you got to say. In fact, we're going to charge you $100 just to do self-checkout now. Oh, yes, honey. Walmart is trying to play hardball. And at first, I believe it. I was like, $100? You know, because again, they see that foot traffic disappear. So they've got to make it up somehow. So now the people who's checking out their own groceries is going to get a fee added on top of. Let's just look at this video and y'all, well, you tell me what you think in the comments, but I'm definitely going to let you know how I feel about this. All right.
It's official, guys. Walmart has removed the self-checkout counter from my store. Now, the only people who can use self-checkout is Walmart Plus members. This company that has hundreds of billions of dollars is now charging you a yearly fee to check out your own groceries. And now,
Okay, correction. A yearly fee. I'm sorry. Okay.
now, as the lines are longest down the store, they're not going to pay more employees to work. So it's $100 a year to check your own self out.
We've officially entered the dark age of self-checkout, and here's why. For years, if you ever went to a Walmart, they have hundreds of self-checkouts that you can choose from, but now they're making you pay. So instead of self-checkout being available to all shoppers at Walmart, you now have to be a Walmart Plus member, which if you didn't know is $13 a month. Now you're gonna have to pay a subscription to use self-checkout. And the sad thing is, the main reason they're doing this is to stop shoplifting. There's been huge problems at stores like Walmart and Target where people go and they get a high-value item like a PS5 or a TV. They take a barcode off of something like a banana. They stick it on there, go through self-checkout, boop, walk right out. And it's sad that because of this, we're witnessing the extinction of self-checkout machines. When I go shopping, I don't want to talk to someone. But now at a lot of stores, it seems like you're going to have to, unless you're willing to shell out $13 a month to pay for a subscription to use self-checkout.
I don't like paying for extra subscriptions for much of anything. And the fact now that this is being rolled out in Walmart throughout the country, I think is absolutely just crazy. If this is supposedly because of theft, I still don't see the logic in putting this cost on your average consumer that is going to purchase items at Walmart, and then now you have to pay a subscription service. And about the theft issue with Walmart, check this out.
So today we stealing from Walmart, and I'm gonna show you how to do it without getting caught. So get your pen and paper because I talk fast, so don't be listening slow. First, you want to go in the morning time. The earlier the better, because a lot of the managers be up there in the front trying to still prepare for their day. Then you want to scan every hour until you find somebody like this filling a Walmart order. Ask them so many dumbass questions that they running away, just like him in this video. And not no dumbass question like what color is the sky, but ask them where some shit is. Ask them to come show it to you. Ask them to scan the prices. Get on their then find the next victim like her right here. You gonna annoy them so much that they can't get their job done. All the while you filling your basket up. Cause we just shopping here, okay? Now here's where it get tricky. You gonna go to self-checkout. You gonna bag up your groceries like don't scan shit. And if it's people standing there, then scan something more than once. Keep on scanning it more than once and making them have to keep coming over there and deleting the shit so they want to get away from you. Now when you scanning it more than once, you gonna ask them to come and take it off because you keep mis-scanning shit. How they gonna be so sick of your ass they ain't gonna give you pay for and what you didn't. You ain't gonna pay for the few items left on the screen. You gonna get that stuff.
I love self-checkout at Walmart. They give the best discounts.
Yesterday, I came to Walmart because I needed to get a couple things. And I realized when I got home today that there was no charge on my debit card. And so I rushed up here and it was $100 worth of stuff. I walked out. I walked out without paying.
So it seems like theft at Walmart has been an ongoing issue for a while. I really didn't have much of an idea that it was that bad. When I'm going through self-checkout, there's always attendants there and they're watching everything you do. So it really baffles me when I think about that there are people that actually get away with just putting items into the bag without scanning and then being able to walk out. And then usually there's somebody at the door that is checking my receipt on top of it. And the issue with theft at Walmart is really going far because I'm pretty sure you've seen where you go and you look for items and everything is locked up. Well, that's increasing even more. And some of the things that are locked up to me are just silly.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm here at my local Walmart and I want to show you all the stuff that's locked up. So Legos and Nerf. Behind lock and key.
Wow.
All right, I kind of understand these, I guess. Pokemon cards. Here's Roombas behind glass. I guess I can kind of see why that would be, maybe. And the Oral-B behind glass. Perfume. And of course, recording in progress. And here are razors and shavers. And of course, we got that baby formula. And that's the dystopian world you're living in.
Have y'all ever seen this before? My local Walmart got all the Legos sealed behind the glass. I guess people be stealing these. Yeah, I don't know.
It's impossible to shop at Walmart anymore. Everything is behind glass, and you have to wait for someone to open it up, and once that happens, you have to follow them up to pay for it.
So I just went through that recently. I needed an item that was no more than $12 to $15 at a Walmart, and I went and got this item. Well, I went to look for this item, and it was behind a glass case. So I had to hunt around the store to look for an associate. So I found an associate, and she walked over with me to the aisle where this item was. And when she opened up the case, she didn't even give it to me. And I asked her, if I could have it because I was going to get ready to go pay. And she said that she needed to walk it up to the cash register. Again, this item was no more than $15, maybe $10 to $12. And she wouldn't let me have it. So we had to walk together all the way up to the front of the store. And she had to give the item to the cashier. And I had to wait in line there, a long line, and then pay for the item. For an item that wasn't even that expensive. I mean, it made me feel as if I'm some sort of, like I'm already a criminal. Like I can't even be trusted to go to the front register with a cheap item. So it really is baffling. I mean, it really starts.
Let me stop right there because I got something to say about this. This is the thing, guys. I don't condone stealing at all. And so I think that's just horrible that people are taking advantage of the self-checkout. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. I don't think they realize how many cameras is around them. I mean, there's a camera on top of your head. People don't even realize that too. So they think that they're getting away, but they're not, and see, I understand for theft reasons that, Walmart is losing a lot of money. However, to penalize everybody for it is just not right because there's people that just shop and they do it honestly. The people that need to be punished are the ones that are stealing, take them to jail or fine them or something like that. But just to pass it off to everybody else, I don't agree with that concept, Now, I think some of it is the stealing, but I also think that it's because they're charging that fee is because of the DEI. They got rid of a lot of diversity, and they don't see that foot traffic like they used to, So they're trying to ramp up and make up as much money as they can to pretty much, get some of that money back. That they're losing due to foot traffic and possibly, from the theft. So again, I don't condone it. I really don't. But I just think that that's just crazy. I mean, people, and the sad thing about it is you're videotaping this. Don't you realize you're incriminating yourself? I mean, she's showing the receipt where she's scanning the same item 40 times. Like, and then you're posting it on social media? Like, how dumb can you be? That's just crazy. People are just, man, I'm sorry. That was just dumb. I mean, who does that? And you wonder why things are more expensive, So I had to cover this because things are just going to keep getting worse and worse. It's almost like one person messes it up for the whole gang, and it's sad because, like I said, people are struggling enough. I shouldn't have to suffer the consequence, or someone else shouldn't have to suffer the consequence just because somebody was stealing. I didn't steal, and now I have to pay for their crime. I just don't think that's right. So we'll keep an eye out on Walmart. Walmart trying to play a little hardball, but it is crazy. It is crazy. So the last thing that we're going to talk about tonight, guys, is some of the Black Republicans have pretty much changed their mind about Donald Trump. Oh, yes, honey. The famous Candace Owens, she has made it perfectly clear that she no longer understands what is going on with the Trump administration. I mean, we tried to warn you, Candace, for some years now. And so now, for some reason, you want the Black community to forgive you and to, because I'm telling you, she was a strong Trump supporter. Okay, when I say strong, I mean any person that would say something bad about Trump, she was like ready to go toe to toe with them. And so now we're going to listen in on her opinion on what's going on now with the administration. She says she doesn't even recognize this administration anymore. I wonder why, So anyway, let's listen in on this. This is on Anthony Logan's station. And we're just going to break this video down once this one is complete to let you know how I feel about this whole Candace Owens situation.
Is that Candace Owens has turned her back on President Trump. Is that true? Is that false? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Candace Owens allegedly turning her back on President Trump. Now, in this video, we're going to see if that allegation is true or false. I'm not saying it's either one right now, but before we even get into it, first things first, I got to address the elephant in the room. This is not, I repeat, this is not, and one more time for the folks in the back, if you didn't hear me, this is not a quote-unquote diss video against Candace Owens. I'm a big Candace Owens fan, been a fan of hers from the beginning, back in the Red Pill Black days, way back, like 2015, 2016, before Trump came in office. So I've been a big fan of hers for a very long time. This does not change that. But part of my job here on the internet is to be honest with everyone. I don't care if you're Black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you're not my friend. And I've met her a few times. A really great person. Beautiful in person. Very smart person. I like Candace Owens. However, I'm not necessarily on the same page with her when it comes to this tape specifically. And we're going to get into it right now. And of course...
Okay, well, let me stop right there because, see, to me, and see, this is where I feel like as minorities in the Republican Party should take heed to this because, see, Candace Owens was diehard. And so for her to say something about Trump now should be raising antennas for you too, because again, why wouldn't you look at it from a different angle? He's doing something completely different. He's doing stuff that he didn't promise in the campaign. But anyway, let's just keep listening and then we'll chime in after this is complete.
Of course, if you want to see this clip in full and her podcast, I'll link to it in the box so you can see and hear that without my commentary if you're on IG, Facebook, etc. Visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Hey, Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank. I'm a huge fan. Hey, what is your number one tip for saving money? Easy.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. I have a theory. I do. We were kicking around some theories earlier, me and the team, and we were going, how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen?
Let's pause for a second. So a little bit of context. Harvard and other Ivy League schools have had some problems on campus with some of these protests that have gotten a little bit violent, a little bit riotous. And the underlying theme behind all these so-called protests that became violent is anti-Semitism, a lot of aggression towards Jewish people. And it's because of the whole Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, personally, if you ask me, I don't think we should be involved with that. I hope the best for all sides, for the Israelis, for the Palestinians. I hope that they're all okay, and I hope nobody dies. But unfortunately, in that part of the world, they've been fighting since humanity began, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. So what can we do to really stop it?
I don't really know, but what I do know is if we're giving Harvard, Columbia, etc., a bunch of federal monies and they cannot protect their students, whether they be Jewish, regular white people, black people, Asians, if they cannot protect them or they refuse to protect them, then why are we giving them money? But that's the context. I'm gonna let her finish.
Going after college universities, trying to suppress speech while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences. Our children are going to have to grow up in this America. Okay? So when you threaten our speech, it's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, we're getting arrested for wrongthink. We got David Friedman. Yeah, arrest him. Arrest Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Get them. I love it.
Do you guys see that happening? Do you guys see the action taken against college campuses because of their anti-Semitism and allowing students to be physically harassed, beat up, etc.?
Yeah, I do. Let me go ahead and stop that right there. Actually, yeah, I do. See, this is the thing. You just can't be so blind. Like I say, if y'all look, go back to my first video, guys, when I said that it's like they can't think outside the box. Republicans, especially black Republicans, they have a tendency to ride with the party no matter what. And see, this is what I'm saying. You got to get to a point, Democrat or Republican, don't matter what party, when it don't look right, okay, and deep down this doesn't look good, but you want to keep riding for him no matter what. And I told you, and I'll say it again, that's a dangerous position to be in, because it's almost like you can just be manipulated, and no matter what happens, you're going to ride with that party no matter what. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Candace she's at least trying to see the light a little bit. Now, I don't know why it took her this long to see the light, but obviously it's got to be bad for her to be speaking out. So anyway, let's keep going.
Do you think that restricting federal funding because of these colleges doing that would lead to a Candace Owens or even a guy like me getting locked up, making big rocks to little? I don't know about that. I'm not quite sure about that.
Everyone can see what's happening left and right. Harvard received notice that they had to comply with Trump administration's demands, okay, and essentially telling them how they would have to change things on campus. And they're, again, the administration is trying to paint this as they're coming and fighting DEI on campus, and they're not doing that. I'm going to show you it so you can see it with your own eyes. Okay. On Monday, Harvard became the first university to openly defy the Trump administration as it demanded sweeping changes to limit activism on campus. Activism is like synonymous with campus, okay? The university frames the government's demands as a threat not only to the Ivy League school, but to the autonomy that the Supreme Court has long granted American universities. They said in a quote...
Let's pause for a second. Before she gets into it, I think as a university, you should be able to do certain things as long as your students are not in danger. Like I said, you got to protect people. If you have these so-called protests that devolve into riots and people are getting hurt, well, what are you doing to stop it? What are you doing to stop it? Are you encouraging it, or are you doing something to stop it?
Okay, well, let me chime in on that take. It's the same thing with January 6th. Who stopped at that? It was a free-for-all that day. Again, let's stop looking at one, how can I say, you're just isolating one isolated event after one isolated event. No, let's look at all sides of this, okay? First off, January 6th, all right? Who stopped it? Where was the security? Where was the police? How many people got hurt that day? And again, it's over because of they didn't think that the election was fair. What? And then he's talking about, see, this is where I have to disagree with him. He's Republican, and respectfully so. But the thing about it is, don't just cherry pick, is what I'm trying to say. It happens on both sides of the aisle, okay? But my main thing for tonight was just to show you that even Black Republicans are waking up, guys. And like I said, Candace Owens was die hard Trump. You can go back to all her old videos and see for yourself. But now she's even taking a pause. She's even taking a step back. Like, what is going on here? This is not the same administration from 2016, and it's not. It's a whole different administration. And most Republicans know that, but they're, again, so afraid to speak out and say something that they think that for some reason that's going to put them in harm's way or something. I don't know. But I think there's going to be more and more Black people, and even white people and other cultures, speak out about this, because they know, like I said, with the student loans getting rolled back, all this stuff with DEI, all this stuff is just affecting the American citizens. And I'm telling you, people have had enough. They're done. So, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to tackle a few things tonight. I will be back on Thursday at 8 o'clock again. We're going to talk about Michelle Obama. She actually interviewed Taraji P. Henson. We're going to tackle some of that interview. It was a very, very good interview. She's going to talk about why she didn't go to the inauguration and some other things that's kind of been on her mind. And also Friday, we'll be back again for the NBA highlights. Had a great time last Friday. It was excellent. Excellent. So y'all, if you can, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. That helps the channel grow, and it gets that channel to be processed and to be seen to more and more people. So I, again, appreciate all the support and all the comments and all the interaction on my videos. I appreciate it all. All right. So again, if you enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes when I come on to YouTube. Okay? So I am going to go ahead and let y'all go for tonight. Join me back at 8 o'clock. Everybody have a great rest of your week. And I will see you Thursday at 8 p.m. All right, guys. Y'all take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.